that wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about tonight. But what's good, everybody, and welcome. If it's your first time viewing us, welcome back. If you're returning, I'm the Nappy Dreamer,
And I'm Kia Blaine,
and we are the
the
Melanin
Melanin
Mindset.
Mindset.
I'm giving us an applause anyway.
I think we did better that time than any other time.
And see, on my end, we were on two completely different waves.
Yeah.
Any,
Okay.
any hoot, if you aren't already, go ahead and follow us on Facebook, The Melanin Mindset. Look us up on YouTube and subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications so that you're among the first to know when The Melanin Mindset goes live. And we can also be found on Instagram, Melanin Mindset _, as well as Twitter, Melanin Mindset _. And y'all, we out there on TikTok too, The Melanin Mindset. So, with that being said, now, woo, you go ahead and do the thing that you do. We're definitely not talking about finances, just so y'all know. Don't get excited.
We are not. The title of today's episode is A House Divided. So, of course, you guys know most of our topics come up from us either finding something interesting out there on the internet or whatever, and then us just having a heart-to-heart conversation about it. So, we're going to start off not with a definition this time, but with a portion of a scripture that states, and I don't care who you are, I'm pretty sure you've heard this: every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So what brought this conversation about is that in our community, in the melanated community, there is a lot of division just amongst ourselves, like let alone like everybody trying to divide black and white and, you know, cultural appropriation and all of that. But there is a big divide just amongst us as each other, as people. And I mean, the one that's old as time is told is the dark against the light. Like, hopefully that's not still a thing, but in some situations it does tend to be. I remember we worked at I worked at a school with a group of young ladies who I now call friends, but one of them, when she first started working there, like she had this whole anxiety about her being the only dark-skinned girl and thinking that, first of all, I don't know why she put me in the light-skinned category. I think I'm very much caramel. I am neutral. But she was like, she thought, oh, it was a bunch of stuck-up light-skinned girls. And I'm just going like, did you really just judge us based on the skin of our color, on the color of our skin? Did you really just judge us based on the color of our skin and you black too? Like, who does that? But we really got to get out of this segregating amongst ourselves in a group. So we're just going to talk about it a little bit based on different things.
And just a gentle reminder, all right, to all those viewing out in internet land on Beyonce's internet and whatnot, make sure you all are commenting down below the screen here. Leave your comments down there so we can pull them up on the screen and converse with you all as well. We want to involve you in what we have to say.
Somebody said you look like George Floyd's sister. I don't know his sister or what she looks like.
You know, I already looked her up.
Who she look like? And who are you talking about?
I don't know. I saw she wears glasses, and that's about as far as I got. I want to say that's who they warned us about, the trolls, but it's okay. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Keep going.
Anyway.
So, friend, in I noticed in the notes where you put all of the negative things that they try to correlate black with, right? But then when you think about it in reality, black literally is like serene and peace. So you want to talk a little bit about those points that you put down right here?
So you put those points down, but okay. It's okay. I understand why you don't remember, but but there was just a connotation about black equaling. Okay, so we started with this video, and the guy was making comments about how, why do I have to be poor to be considered black? Now, his arguments were completely ignorant, but he did have a little bit of a point when it's like, in order for me to be considered cool black, like I can't be too well off. And like, why is that a thing? Like, why do we equate blackness or darkness with negative bad things? Like, you know, even when I saw this one little study where they had pictures of little girls that were drawn the exact same way. The only difference was the color of their skin. And they were asking these little 2 and 3 year olds questions like, which one is the bad one? And the kid
I
would,
saw that.
and they would be like, which one is the nice one? And the kid would point to the white one. And now this is somebody who's 2, so you haven't had much experience dealing with people of different colors for that long. But for you to come up with that, like, why? Like, what was it that this 2-year-old had already saw to equate darkness with bad?
Right. So I did upload his video clip over there to the side. Did you want me to
Mm-hmm.
play parts of it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna show some of his video clip on his Snapchat, not Snapchat. Ooh, not Snapchat, TikTok. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so here we go. Let's put a little bit of him out there.
Why do y'all hate black people who grew up with money?
Let's see.
Let me make one thing clear. I grew up in a $500,000 house. I went to private school. I graduated from one of the top universities in the country. My job, you couldn't get it if you wanted to. My car note is more than your rent, no cosign. I mean, I can go on for days. But the moral of the story is, why would I want to relate or try to fit in with a lifestyle that I do not come from? Y'all don't think it's crazy that you equate blackness with poverty? And this is exactly why you have all these suburban kids running around here acting like they got it out the mud, like they were struggling, because you sit there and shame them for being from the suburbs. Y'all keep saying Carlton like that's some sort of insult. Like, are you okay? Use the 3 brain cells you got up in there to tell me, who does it benefit for black people to only be able to fit the stereotypes in order to be considered black? Because it's not benefiting black people.
Did you
So we're gonna
unmute?
let. I did. I unmuted you.
Mm-hmm.
So struggling to get hard. That's funny, and it is quite
Mm-hmm.
lame. It is indeed quite lame. And it's true. Like, a lot of people are looking at those people who didn't grow up outside of the suburbs or in a rougher area and things like that, and then saying that somehow or other they're less black. Like, how
Yeah.
does that make them less black?
So in this person's case, apparently he's coming from a place where he's salty.
Clearly, he's hurt.
Maybe, he wanted to be a part of whatever, and he was rejected, and this was him, expressing how he felt in his rejection. But I mean, as far as what he was saying, I don't know if he realized it. Like, he went through this whole thing as to say, because he started out kind of saying like, "Oh, I'm not black because I'm not poor," but then you said you were compared to people like Carlton. Carlton was black, so your money still did not take away your blackness. You still got compared to somebody who was black. So it's not that whoever your offender was didn't think you was black because they still called you somebody black. They know you black. It was the way your wording, like you said, you couldn't ever afford my car note, or you couldn't afford this. How do you yourself are saying now, because I'm black, I'll never be able to afford the half a million. First of all, $500,000 house, babe. Let me tell you right now, in South Florida, that's a 1,200 square feet. It ain't shit. So your $500,000 house is everybody. How we all in a $500,000 house right now.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
Okay, your $500,000, your 4.2. Congratulations.
I
The
can't,
heck you
bro.
have to.
That girl said we all live in a $500,000 house, bro.
Exactly.
That's where we all are
It's
right now.
2022. $500,000 house and is about it's very basic.
Yeah, it's giving average.
Mm-hmm.
So, but friend, let's toss aside some of the stuff he was saying. So he did wrap a solid message inside of the ugliest packaging ever.
Mm-hmm.
He really did. Like, if you get past the foolery that he put in there, like, my job, you could never get that. Well, you don't know that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know, how many people are working hard and could exceed your job. You have a boss, honey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You work for someone. So
Yeah.
yeah, anybody could get your job. But, like, let's take apart the negative part that he gave. But, like, let's look at the core of it. It is true that for some reason that discount is passed off to those who don't necessarily struggle or have to, live in a 1-bedroom house with 15 siblings all sleeping in the living room. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and if you didn't go to public school, things like that, there are some connotations for some reason within our community
Yeah.
where they're like, discounting or discrediting the blackness of their peers. And it's like nothing can take away your being black. So let's say that
Mm-hmm.
first.
Yeah.
Nothing can take away how black you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No
You
amount
are
of money, no amount of
mm-mm.
social status, no amount of where you go, who you with, you still black.
Listen, even if you get away with not experiencing certain things, blessings to you, but you are still just as black as
Mm-hmm.
everyone else. And anyone else who can try to tell you otherwise is just as nuts as he was when he opened his video.
And that's the thing about being black that I think that we miss, that you need to embrace more, is the diversity within us. Like, we are a culture of people who are so different within itself, and we should appreciate that.
So true. So true.
Yeah, rather than it being such a negative connotation, and and it's almost like to a point where you could be missing out on a great connection because you're judging somebody because they don't do something the exact same way you do or the way you think they should do it,
Mm.
especially within our own community.
Yeah, I find that they're discounting on a number of waves. Now, last week we did touch a little bit on this, but about the Jordan brands versus Case not K Swiss. K Swiss used to be a dope brand back in the day.
For like 5 minutes, and then
Like
after
for
that, if you
yeah,
got
it
caught
had
wearing
its
face
little
switch, you
run.
got bullied. It just
Yeah.
happens so fast. You can't keep up. I
Listen,
can't keep up.
there were Reebok Classics commercials all over the place. Okay, I
Mhm.
cannot remember the last time I saw a Reebok Classic commercial. What about you?
They were so comfy.
I
They
don't
might
know that
come
I
back
ever.
because I think Cardi B just came out with a new Reebok, and they look like the Reebok Classics, but they come in different colors.
Mm, okay,
So
oh,
they might be about to come
okay.
back.
Listen, I'm here for it. I just want my all black Reebok Classics with the gum bottoms, and I'll be great. But
Yes,
like,
those are
let you
cute.
catch
Everybody got a
somebody
pair of them.
in the Walmart 3000s. You know, Shaq gets a lot of flack because his shoes is in Walmart. But if y'all looked into the story as to why, it's a dope story. But if you get caught wearing Shaqs versus wearing Jordans, you get what I'm saying? People are
Mhm.
clowning like you're poor, or you don't know how to dress, or
Like,
this,
and
that, and the
it's so
third.
sad because it's almost like, and especially amongst young people, like, you really are not going to befriend this person because of the type of shoes they have on, but you'll be friends with somebody who's an asshole, but they got on Jordans.
Listen, he got on Jordans, and he got
Like,
a car. He got on Jordans and he got a car. He got his little stuff together, or it looks that way. It just it's the band-aid that we put on as a community. It's like
mhm.
as a whole, we put a band-aid on stuff.
Yeah.
And that band-aid is like a healed spot. Like if I put, designer on my body and I step in some Jordans, then all of a sudden I just have it together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I wrap it in the pretty packaging or put the Band-Aid on it, I got my
Mhm.
stuff together. And that's something as a culture that we really have to evaluate.
Because there's a lot of people out here actually hurting, but because of what it looks like to us. It looks like the happy family. They got nice cars, their kids are dressed nice. Oh, they're so happy, they're so nice, that's so beautiful. But inside, they're dying, or at home, there's domestic issues, or the kids are failing at school. But that's not something that they just walk around wearing. I'm not going to wear Jordans and a t-shirt with my bad report card on it. So, and that could be somebody that you could reach out to and help. But
Mhm.
because they look like they just got it all together, nobody says, "Hey, how's everything going?" You just assume it's going well by material things that you see.
By that outward appearance, bro. And that'll get you every time. It'll get us every time.
And
It
it's
also
also like, on the flip side, it's like, why do I have to look like struggle to be struggling? Like, I could be struggling, with my mental health, but that don't mean I gotta look bummy, my hair ain't done. I might be putting on a facade to look better so that you don't know I'm struggling, but
that
I
part.
could be struggling. This is why it's important for us to check on each other. Check
Yes,
on your
check on your
family
strong
members, check on your
friends.
friends, check on your strong friends, please. Because they're
Yes.
going through. And
That part. All right.
that's the part, is because it's your strong friend, you tend to just dump everything on them. You call them when you got a problem, but you don't call to see what's going on with them.
Right. Right. Friend,
Mhm.
I'm gonna throw a little story in here, not even a long story, just a little blurb. Okay.
Okay.
Um, what she's saying is valid. Check on your strong friend, because today my friend messaged me out of nowhere. All right. I was like all in my head and stressed out, and just out of nowhere, my friend sends me this voice recording, and it's not even her. It's just like a forwarded message.
Yeah.
But the timing was so impeccable that, like, I'm telling you, just check on your friends who you think got they jump together. All right. Check on your friends that look like they got they jump together. All right. Just make that a deal for yourself this week, y'all. I'm giving the tip of the week at the beginning of the episode. Please.
Okay. This next little part where I wrote some notes about like what your likes and desires. Like like a lot of times your friends and the people you hang with or closest to, you guys have pretty much the same likes, desires, the things you do, you like, but is that to say that you won't look at or befriend someone that does something that you don't particularly do? And I'll use an example, like I drink. So if I drink and you don't drink, does that mean we can't hang out? Does that mean we can't be friends? And in some instances, it is. Like, I feel like it just means like maybe if it's your day that you're gonna go binge drinking, maybe I'll sit out. I won't drink. You know what I mean? Or I won't go to that event. If I know this is where everybody gonna be drunk with me, I'm just gonna stay home. Or I'll stop by in the beginning and just leave before it gets too crazy.
I think Pastor Colbert talked about this because we didn't go that deep into that part of the conversation because that's not the dynamic we were in. But he was talking about how one of his coworkers lives a different lifestyle from the type he lives and teaches, right? Yeah. And so in him sharing, he was like, he would never just ignore them. He even shared the story about how he was sitting out front praying with them and they were crying when his wife pulled up and saw him out there like, what's going on? I'll talk to you later. And he was praying with them. He's like, you cannot separate yourself. And I know that's not the area you meant when you said you drink and you can't hang out with them, but it's like you can't just you can't just throw them away because you never know. Y'all, I'm coming back to it. Check on your strong friends. Like if your friend doesn't partake, doesn't do everything that you enjoy doing, if that is sincerely your friend, don't just discard the moment. Look into the moment. Okay. Yeah. Like, don't just look at them straight up for that. It looks like Linda put something here in the chat. All right. Unfortunately, some Afro-Americans look at material things as prosperous. Can I not some?
We could say most of them.
Most of them. 90%.
One word. Most of them.
Oh, look at Stan. Thank you, Stan. One time for the one time. We love you too, Stan. Absolutely. But yeah, seriously speaking, like when it comes down to things like that, you don't want to especially when I call somebody a friend, I have a connection with them. You get what I'm saying? I'm drawn to them. So even when I find out the things about them that I really could care not to engage in, I'm not going to put myself in a vulnerable situation. But at the same time, if I'm drawn to you as a friend, there is a reason. And so I'm not going to just throw you away just because of a particular decision, right? Yeah. Just because something's not my norm, So yeah, no, I couldn't see that. What about those out there viewing? What do you think? Would you do that? Would you discard a person or keep yourself separate from a person or judge? Because that's what it really comes down to.
Absolutely.
Is being judgmental.
Now let me tell you how I feel about this whole judgmental comment. Like people be talking about only God could judge you. Only God should judge you, but we all judge. And if you sit here and say I don't judge nobody, you're a liar, and I'm judging you for being a liar. So we all judge to some extent. We all judge, even if you judge and then you correct yourself, like, oh, you wrong for looking at that person like that.
Right.
We do it. It's a natural thing. You're gonna do it.
Yep. And just by how they say first impressions are everything. Like your first impression is literally the opportunity for the person to gauge who you are. And what is that? Judging. Like that's literally judging. Like, oh, my first impression of her was not the best. Judgy.
I know so many people that have that tattooed on them that says only God can judge me. No, only God should judge you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, the tattoo artist was judging you when you got the tattoo. The tattoo artist was
the person who gave you the tattoo was like, you sure? Okay.
Listen, original much? Like, yes, listen, Kimberly, that's valid. You
And
should
that is the
always.
most important thing. That is the most important thing. Because once
Yes.
you judge yourself and you've determined I am this and I love myself, it matters not what anyone else thinks. So
Right.
let them go on and think. I remember it was a time at work with this she was a handful. She was definitely a handful. It was a student who
Oh man,
was
I thought. Oh.
a bit mouthy, and my coworker, she was standing to the side gossiping about somebody else in the class. Now, one girl wouldn't tell her who she was talking about, and she's like, "No, tell me," and she's like, "No." And so me, I am a professional ignorer, so I ignored the whole conversation.
Oh,
But
she's good.
another colleague of mine said, "Now, don't do that because you wouldn't want nobody talking about you." And the girl responded, "I don't care if anybody talk about me." She said, "What other people say about me is not my business." And it was like the first time in our whole school life that I actually agreed with the girl. And I was like, she's right. What you think about me is your business. It is not affecting me in any way. You ain't my boss. You don't control nothing in my life. What you think about me is not my business. That's your business. You have fun with that.
Whole
But
fact.
because I judged myself and I know myself, I know where I stand.
Mm, love it. Love
They,
it.
of
I
course,
do
it
want
didn't
to.
go like they felt as though she's being disrespectful and carrying on, and I was just like, y'all grown, that's y'all business.
Oh, sips tea.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to this one point you put as speech, right? I want to say we said something a little bit about that, and
Mm-hmm.
reel me in if I'm going in the wrong direction, friend. All
Mm.
right, so I shared how I do speak technically, right?
Yes.
So I might get chill, laid back, and we might be hanging at the house or something, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
relax more, and I might speak a little bit differently. But for the most part, this is how I talk.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, this is how I talk. So being compared, because you don't speak the same as everyone else, or their favorite thing to say, and we kind of dabbled on this. You talk like a white girl,
Mm-hmm.
but like why?
What makes it sound like a white girl?
Right? Why? That's my
Because
question. What?
there's
Why?
no way that you will ever sound in my head what a white girl sounds like. You don't sound like.
I gotta ask.
I'm just saying. Okay, so like I feel like black people got treble and bass, and white people only got treble. So like even I got the Google Home devices, and so I remember somebody was at my house and I had made a command for Google to tell me something, and the young man was like, "Why your Google sound black?" And I said, "You know what? That's funny because I went through all the different voices and I picked the one that sounded the close to what my people sound like." And not even on purpose, but I just was like, "Oh, I like her voice," and that's who I picked. And I have had at least 4 people come to my house and be like, "How you get your Google to sound black?"
Listen, you know what I have in my house, and I don't need her running her mouth right now, so we're not gonna call her name because she hear
Mm-hmm.
everything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, no, she has attitude. I don't know if it's because she be yelling back at me, bruh.
Uh-huh.
And it's so weird because I do say a few things to her when nobody's looking, because I'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, try me again. And then she always has a response. And it's so weird because it's like sometimes I'll make a command and then I'll get like I don't know how to do that. Like, you don't know how to do, huh? You don't know how to do that?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to unrecognized command? Unavailable command.
No. Okay, one more about these devices and then we'll move on. But my son came in the room and made a mistake and said, "Hey Siri." And Google said, "I know you know my name." I said, "Oh, we got so quiet." We said, "Oh, not Google coming for you." Google said, "I know you know my name."
Listen, that part. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the devices, they something else, bro. They something else. I have definitely said a few things. I'm just gonna say that to my
Mm-hmm.
home device. And she has gotten a little spicy over time.
Yeah.
Okay, she's gotten a
So
little spicy.
so do our devices know that we're black and that's why they're more spicy? I need to go
You
to
know, remember
I need to go
last
to one
week?
of my non-melanated friends' house and see if theirs is just as spicy as mine.
You remember last week we talked about how they figured out somehow how much of how many black people are buying jewelry, Mercedes, and
Yeah,
all of that.
I was trying to
Like
figure that
somehow
out.
they
It didn't
figured
come
out
out.
how many of us that we've spent the most money on these things out of everyone. So clearly she must know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I believe she knows. And I know she knows. They're gonna demonetize our video just for that. Oh, we're not gonna be able to monetize this episode, friend.
Yo, okay.
My bad. Well, oh well. We don't
Mm.
own rights to that music. All right, so it says, and it's how you were taught. Case in point, Joshua, the way I taught him. Yes, her son just graduated high school this year as well. Whoop, whoop. Go, Josh.
Congratulations.
Yes, and I'll never forget. I won't say his whole name on Beyonce's internet, so it's okay. But definitely when I remember the day I met him, he was an itty bitty tiny little human. All right, and she introduced me to him by his full name. Oh my gosh, and he graduated from high school. I'm sick. I'm sick.
Aww.
I am sick. You listen, I am sick. You know I was sick over your baby. And I met him when he was 7.
Oh, my baby?
Yeah.
My baby was 6.
6 when I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this baby, he was a little baby. Like I mean like he was a little limp baby. That was my limp baby
Aww.
pose. He was a little bitty bitty somebody, and well, he wasn't really little bitty. He was always substantially tall. Both his parents are very very tall, but
he was a baby.
he was a baby. Oh my gosh, he was a baby. But yeah, he is very much so well spoken. Oh my goodness, he is extremely well spoken.
While
But
we're
see, I must
speaking on
admit,
kids, let's go ahead and jump to this parenting styles.
oh yes, it's a
So I feel like this could be an episode all in itself. But I am definitely one of those people who I can't deal with unruly, disrespectful children. Now, my view of what's considered unruly and disrespectful probably varies very differently from somebody else's. Because I don't know, I have a distinct thing about kids being kids. Like, I do understand that kids are kids. I don't expect to sit around kids and they be quiet the whole time, or for them to necessarily sit still the whole time. But I do expect that if your parent or a parental figure tells you sit down, you sit your tail down until you are told to do something else. So, but I bring this up to say that I have seen like all out arguments about to turn into fights because of a difference in parenting styles. Like, if I just disagree with your parenting style, I'll just catch you when we have adult night. Like, if I feel like your kids is bratty and I might trip them when they walk by, I won't be around your kids.
Not tripping when they walk by.
Some kids deserve to be tripped when they run past, especially if your mama done told you stop running and you run by 3 more times. I believe I should be able to put my foot out and watch you fall.
Oh, listen, I saw a video on Facebook. Somebody had posted they were in the airport and there were these children who had chips, and you couldn't tell what kind of chips, but they had chips or snacks or whatever, and they were in the airport and they're like smushing and breaking up the crackers or whatever the chips, whatever snack was they had. They were crumbling it in their hand and just doing like this and swinging it all around and stuff like that. And this person who I know literally just recorded them and went live on their Facebook. Like, this don't make no sense. And I'm just kind of like, a small part of me would have given them the eye. Have you ever done that? Seen somebody
all the time
tripping and then you just...
I be fighting people, kids in the store. Like the ones that be crying, I definitely will look at them and be like...
Listen, I would not have just gone live. I would have definitely did like this. Until I got their attention. As soon as they locked eyes with me. Not even saying nothing, but it gives them a whole heart attack. A whole heart attack. And they usually sit down. And it's not about intimidating the kid or anything like that. It's just like, all right, your parents about to get put out of wherever you at.
Your kid should have at least enough training that they should know not to be in the airport throwing food around. Who's tomorrow I would have opened my mouth? You would have opened your mouth and caught the chips, or you would have opened your mouth and said something?
Please elaborate. What would you have
No,
said?
she said she would embarrass their mother. She would have said something to the mother.
She'd embarrass their mama.
I remember being in the store, and I used to be like, "Hey, see, I used to try to get my kids to hit the other little kids, so it ain't that bad. Because I be wanting to hit them, so I'd be like, girl, you go over there and trip that little girl, because she being disrespectful to her mama in the store. And my kids would be like, Mom, I'd be like, go over there and hit her. They would never do it though. They're so straight and narrow.
You know, that's
I'd be like, oh, somebody need to go hit that kid. There's something wrong. Why are you showing all the way out?
So when is the tipping point though? Like, what's the comparison? So a child, when do they cross that line into being bratty? Like, what separates a kid from being a kid and then them being bratty? I say destructiveness. Destructive behaviors make a kid, you know, it'll push them over that edge. The kids that with the snacks in the airport, just that.
Yeah. Like, did the mother ever tell them to stop?
I watched the live or the little clippet of the live, and no, it was literally this person recorded it, and the mom is just sitting there in the chair like this.
While they throwing chips.
Around. And they were throwing chips, running back and forth. The little girl's diaper was drooping. It was a mess.
Wow. And you know what? That to me is a cry for help. Clearly that woman has met her breaking point and she is broken and she does not care. And that's somebody who needed help. And I might have said, you good? Because I could take care of this for you if you need me to. Because won't nobody eat a chip for the rest of the year. Just say the word. They won't ever want a chip again. Say the word. Say the word.
She's like, do you want snack time to end forever in your home? I can make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Your kids will eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's it.
What about foods? It says foods that you eat. So, yes, indeed, they were of the
are we doing a commercial today?
No.
Okay, so foods. The thing, I brought that up because there is this whole movement of a lot of us becoming vegan, right? And I was vegan for 4 years, so I know what the lifestyle is about. But my choice to be vegan was my choice. I wasn't the type to impose upon anybody else unless they were curious. You know? So like if I was out with my friends and we're ordering food, okay, let me get my salad with no cheese, you know, I want this type of dressing, And if my friend decides to order a burger, enjoy your burger. I'm not about to kill. Oh my gosh, the sad cat. That's how I knew I was plant-based and not vegan. Because, honey, baby girl will wear leather shoes and a leather purse. So I knew I wasn't vegan. Because y'all killing them animals anyway. You might as well do something with the skin. But if you decide not to eat it, that's your business. But I have literally seen like all falling out, especially amongst the younger community. Because, you know, when I was teaching in school, like this one girl was talking about, I just got to move out of my mom's house. She's always buying pork and all of this stuff. And I'm like, well, what that got to do with you? Don't eat it. First of all, you in your mother's house. So you being mad about what she buy, you don't have a place. You're grown. I think she was like probably 27. But she was just so irate at the fact that her mom bought, and I think it was honey. I think she had bought honey for something. And her mom was, and she
honey isn't vegan?
No, because it comes from bees. Yeah, your face. That was mine when I was talking to her. I say, listen, if you don't like the way your mother does things in your house, you are good and grown and you could find a way to get up out of there. But for you to disrespect, because she said she was arguing with her mom. Like, are you kidding me? You really was arguing with your mom about what she bought in her house? She was one of them kids that was throwing the chips. She clearly was one of them kids that was throwing
the chips. Listen,
where you had the audacity to talk to me about what I do in mine.
Listen, that part. I can attest to the fact that during your vegan days, the only time I ate vegan food as her friend was when I was at her house.
Yeah.
And I believe there were a few times I bought food that wasn't vegan because I ain't feel like eating vegan that day.
And it is what it is.
It was what it was. But I'm telling you, she always had the good fruit though. Like, even if I didn't want to eat the other stuff, like I could get some good fruit or some fresh juice. It was lit. I'm telling you, it was always lit. And she had the good peanut butter. Like, yeah. So all of that kind of counteracted being her friend while she was vegan. And wait, and you made me them tacos that time, the tacos.
Mhm.
And I love, if you
The
don't know
tacos
anything
was
else
always
about
our
me,
specialty. We could give people tacos and they not even realize that they were vegan.
if you don't know anything about me, you know, my friend knows where this is going, but I am a Taco Bell fan. Okay.
Mhm.
And I could care less what anybody else has to say about it. So you can go on and make your negative comments about Taco Bell when you watch
About
the playback.
about your
That's
horse meat and all of that.
all right. And I'm still gonna go get me the cheesy gordita crunch. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna have them put it inside of a chalupa shell. All right. I'm not
I'm
getting
mad
the
you got your
gordita. I'm
Taco
getting
Bell recipe.
girl, yes. I tell them, I'm like, wait, can you put mine in a chalupa? And they be like, the chalupa is the fried one. I know. Put it in a chalupa. I don't want the fluffy soft one. Fry that.
Mhm.
That's the difference. A gordita is a fried chalupa. I mean, unfried chalupa. So just go and fry my chalupa.
Yeah, you got me. I don't know what you're talking about. But it sounds
Anyway,
like you should do a TikTok the way you order it. You know how people be doing their Starbucks drinks? They Starbucks orders. You should do it your Taco Bell order so people could copy it and see if they like it.
oh man, it's busting. I tell you, and you got to get that nacho cheese Doritos Loco taco shell. That is free game. You're welcome. Anyway, the reason I said any of that was simply because my friend made tacos, y'all, and that thing tasted just like the Taco Bell soft taco. I was in heaven. All right. She gave me a vegan taco.
And it was 100% vegan.
It was amazing. It gave me all the feels. Like he said, food hacks, right? That part.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes, that part.
But it's
So
just like, how you gonna be mad at me because I choose to eat a certain way?
right.
Like, I do have a friend. We always tease her because every time we go out, we could go to the nicest restaurant, and all this chick is gonna ever eat is fried shrimp or chicken tenders. Like, it don't matter where we go, all she ever gonna eat is French fries, fried shrimp, and chicken tenders,
I
and we
used to be
tease
that
her
person.
every time. But that don't mean we're gonna exclude her because we want to go to the steakhouse. We're going to the steakhouse, friend. You better figure out what you're gonna eat, but we're going to the steakhouse.
Yep. This is where we're going. Look at the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare. But yeah, I was that person. It was pretty bad. She wasn't talking about me, but I was that. I used to be that person. I eat a
Yeah,
cheeseburger.
no, her
Any
palate has
outlet.
grown up very much. I'm so proud of you.
Of me?
Yes, you try more things now. I'm very proud of
You
you.
know, I do. I do.
Get your large
Huh?
fries from.
McDonald's in a large cup. He said, "Get your large fries
Get
from
your
McDonald's
large fries in
in
a
a
cup.
large
That's the
cup.
thing. Okay. So
In
I
a
can go to
large
McDonald's and be
cup,"
like, I want a large fry, but I want it in a large soda cup. I
and
want it
they'll
in
do it.
and they'll do it. Interesting.
Friend, that's a TikTok. We are gonna make that TikTok, and you got to go to a McDonald's other than the one that your child is at. You got to go to a different one because they'll probably do it for you either way. You got
But
to find a
the
different.
McDonald's that my child works at
Uh huh.
is hands down the best McDonald's for fries. That's why they stay the busiest.
Oh man.
Like, people live across the street from other McDonald's and drive to that one because their fries are the best.
Mm. Well, we got to do it. We gotta do it. We got to go through the thing, and we got to request McDonald's a large fry in a large cup. Got it. Will do. And it will be on TikTok. So if you want to see what happens with that, follow us on TikTok, the Melanin Mindset.
Mhm.
Friend, it's a good time to plug this piece right here. The part that that part that I be doing.
Okay, do your finger.
All right, I'm about to do that thing right now. All right, so listen, to those of y'all who are viewing us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on those notification bells so that way you are among the first to know when the Melanin Mindset goes live each and every week, Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, right here. So wherever you're viewing us at right now, yes, we go live right here wherever you're watching, even if you're watching the playback. And thank you. By the way, look us up on Facebook as well, The Melanin Mindset. Find us on Instagram, Melanin Mindset _ as well as Twitter, Melanin Mindset _ And as I just said, we're on TikTok at The Melanin Mindset. So go ahead and look us up on all of our platforms and make sure you're following so you can stay looped in with The Melanin Mindset. And one last call for all of y'all. Go ahead and hit that share button and give this to someone you care about so they can go ahead and ride this wave on out the door with us tonight. All right? Go ahead, Frank. Continue.
I want to give a shout out while you did that because I got us a new follower today.
Oh, who is it?
So I went to this hair store because I was like, running around today, and I was like, I'm not going to have time to get home and do my hair. So I bought a wig from this black-owned beauty supply called Class Beauty. It's in Palm Springs, Florida. And I got this cute little wig and this cute little headband. And the lady that was working in there and was helping me, she was like, because she said, nope, see, because if I got to go out and my hair ain't done, I'm just not going. And I was like, well, I have a podcast. And she's like, oh my God, let me follow you. So she followed us. So we got us a new follower today, and I got me a new wig.
Love it, love it, love it. Listen, the love has been definitely growing for the Melanin Mindset, and we appreciate each and every one of you, even if you're watching the playback. To those of y'all that be watching the playback, though, you a real one. All right, so shout out to you. This is your shout out. Thank you. So should I applause for that too?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, to those who watch the playback, to those who go and watch when you don't catch the live, to those who show love and inbox and things like that to tell us how much you love the show. Oh, we love you so much. Okay. So please continue to do the things that you're doing because we sees you and we loves you. All right. All right. So friend, the next thing that's on here is church. And girl, I think we could ride this one till the wheels fall off.
Because, okay, so like, there's different denominations in churches. You got your Baptist, you got your Kojic, you got your non-denomination, which is a denomination. Look, the non-denomination, which is a denomination all in itself.
You got AME, you got CME, you got Church of God by Faith, you got all of them, okay?
Yeah, but then there's also like this almost I'm trying to say like amicable war or disagreement of like who's doing it right.
Right. So it's when you meet those people who are like, oh, I started off in this denomination and branched out to start my own denomination. Like out of all the denominations out here, there was not one you could have got in with. There's something
you just
nah.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me there wasn't
you're missing the whole point of church. You're missing the whole point of becoming a body, of being a community, of working together. You just gonna create your own church and your own denomination. All right.
Right. And then we have statuses or titles. Now, before we go into that one, I'm gonna go ahead and lay a little disclaimer because y'all know I'm a church baby. So we're gonna go on and say this part right here. Like, let's just be clear. This is not in any way, shape, or form showing disrespect for the hierarchy of the church. However, this is saying that there are some scenarios where things get a little cliquish and amongst the Black churches. So when you see someone who doesn't quite have the same title, I have seen with my own eyeballs where you will have this particular group of individuals not with this particular group of individuals because they are not at the same rank or status. And this can be during service, after service, on the street. All right. So like, let's just put that out there. So there we go. Wanted to make sure I laid that blanket before we kept going, because when you're dealing with different titles and things like that, some people are literally, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and ride this one on in. Cause some people legit, it's the title is all that it's for, not for the ultimate glory that it was intended to represent. So when we start separating and creating those divides in that aspect, then what glory are we really bringing? Like, you just got a title with your name and you are not carrying out what? Did we just flipped? That was random. You're not carrying out the purpose behind the title. And then giving levels. Ooh, friend, have you ever heard of, I'm not, because we're not calling out anybody in particular, so have you ever, oh well, there she goes, so I'm gonna ask the viewers. All right, have you all ever been in a situation where you've seen where there is a full-on posting of individuals' levels of giving? Like, imagine that you walk in and you see on our board, so and so gave this much money this month or this week, so and so gave this much money this week, so and so did this and so did that. Then that ends up creating a little bit of animosity. Would you not agree? Amongst the people. Like, why would we create where there doesn't need to be a divide? So we find ourselves doing those types of things and creating those separations where the separations really don't need to reside. And the next thing we have on our list is the attire. the way people dress when they come to church. So if I'm wearing like a short skirt or I'm wearing a long skirt, like I'm looked at differently, than the other people are. So they're looking at me from a different vantage point simply because my skirt may not fit the way they want my skirt to fit. Or maybe I'm wearing jeans when I came to church instead of wearing a dress when I came to church. So now just automatically I'm in a bucket. You know what I'm saying? You're muted, friend.
Oh, okay. Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Yeah. My everything just decided to restart. Okay.
That's okay. All that I talked about was the giving levels. And could you imagine creating the divide where the divide doesn't need to be, like where you're posting how much each individual has contributed to the ministry that
Is that something that people do in churches?
Yes. I've
That's
seen it in churches.
terrible.
Yes. I've seen posts on social media where people have just lost their everything and they're posting it on social media because this happened that there. I'm telling you, y'all gotta stop. It's gotta stop somewhere. It's got
Mm-hmm.
to stop somewhere. Listen, even with these divides being created, I think the constant need to post it on social media has got to come to a stop.
Yes.
It's got to come to a stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the last couple of things are cars, zip code, schools, and hood rich is the definition
Mm-hmm.
we have for them
Oh, I
today.
had a story about this car thing because okay, we know we cars tend to be a symbol of a certain status,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're younger and you're that kid in school who got a car. And I have a friend who was telling me a story about her friend from high school, and they were like thick as thieves. They were so tight. But then when she got a car in high school, and her friend made a couple of like little slick comments like, oh, she thinks she this, and then they kind of just stopped being friends because it was like, because I got a car now, what changed about me other than I have a car?
Friend, that's like that Jordan thing. Like, I'm your friend because you got on, Louis V and Jordans.
Yeah,
And then I'm
like
not going to be your friend because you got
now
on the
I remember
trademark
my best friend in
competition.
kindergarten. We were best friends because we had the same sneakers. But notice I said kindergarten. We were 6. So if you're not 6, stop being friends with people or not being friends with people because of materials.
I don't remember what grade it was in, but I definitely did have a very close friend because our lunch boxes were the same lunch box.
Okay. Like, oh, you like
It
this?
was
Oh, your sneakers
elementary
are black
school.
and
I
purple
definitely
too.
had a friend because of my lunchbox. Y'all, excuse all of that noise outside because people are popping off fireworks as if it's just absolutely required tonight.
Oh, they're all over me. Like from every angle, I hear these fireworks. My dog is in the house losing it.
We can't hear him, but
Good.
I just know when this playback happens, they're gonna hear all the popping of these fireworks.
I don't know if you noticed, but I jumped a couple of times because it was extra close and extra loud.
Nope, didn't even notice. Didn't even
I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Let me just play it off and keep talking.
notice. Let's jump down to schools real quick because we are starting to hit the top, hit our point there. So, private school versus public school, is that a status symbol now?
Seems like it. Like people who have their kids in private school love to talk about it. I mean, just like, yes, because he goes to this school and da. Okay, I know that. You told me that before. I didn't forget. But for some reason, you like to keep bringing it up. Yay, your kid's in private school.
Yay, you pay for their
Mhm.
education. It's the same. It is typically the same education as the public school. That's more intense.
It's
I get it.
sometimes it's worse, and that's the thing. Sometimes it is worse. Like honestly, just from being in the workforce, my coworkers, the ones that went to private school, are significantly dumber than the ones that went to public school. I don't care what nobody say. Give us a test. Give us a test.
So let's go ahead and get into the final thing on our list.
And I think that's probably what it is. It's like you just get this pass, like, oh, you went to private school, like you must be smart. Because public school has such a bad rap, our teachers worked so much harder to make sure that we weren't. And honestly, I feel like private school teachers need the same certifications. It's a lot of private schools where I could open up a private school and I'm just gonna hire my family. There and
Yep.
ain't none of them have the credentials to be a real teacher. But curriculums are written as such to just go, all right, it told me to ask this question and let this, like, I mean, it can be I'm not saying that they're all bad, but I have seen scenarios where the public school kids will run circles around
Oh, big facts. Big facts.
being academic wise.
Mm. Super valid. Super valid. Because
So, and vice versa. There's some private schools that'll definitely run circles around our public school kids. But to me, in that case, they should, because you spent an arm and a leg. They should be able to run circles. But the fact is that a lot of times that's not the case.
So the last thing we have on our list of comments is that it says, "What is hood rich?" Right. So we're looking at
that was your thing, the hood rich.
we were looking at the comparisons, and with the house divided, we were just kind of wanting to really drive home the point of the separation that we have in our community over different commonalities. Like, just because I'm at a different position in this area of my life than you are does not equate to less than. And just because of the color of my skin, it does not at all equate to less than. It's a lot of people out here that's fronting and they're literally just living a hood rich lifestyle, and it's you're portraying as though you have your things together. Like we said earlier, sometimes you can look at someone who's just so well put together, but in reality they're falling apart. They're falling apart. And so the definition of hood rich, which is hilarious, mind you, it just says exhibiting flamboyant spending habits while doing nothing to improve one's living conditions. In other words, it's a front. Now go ahead and say what you're going to say.
In other words, you around here driving around in your BMW, but you live with your mama. In other words, you got the biggest Jordan collection in your apartment with your rent 2 months behind. Hood rich. In other words, you got a $1,500 wig on your head, but your light's about to get cut off. Hood rich.
Listen, you got another one?
Oh, I could do this all day. You going on trips and traveling, but you about to get evicted and don't have nowhere to go to.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. You out here shopping and about to lose your storage unit with all the other clothes you own in it.
That part. Why are you shopping and you have a storage unit?
So, y'all, the long story, or the short story to the long story, is legit just understand where you are in your situation. Someone said earlier, judge first yourself. So judge you first. It's not our place to sit here and create these divisions amongst each other based off of frivolous, and yes, I'm going to say frivolous status symbols, or frivolous character traits, or pointless, but like, what is that? Pointless things that you own. Property. There we go.
Yeah.
Pointless property. I'm telling you right now, all of those things that you're flashing and carrying on, and you really think just make you so much better than everyone else, it's not going to go with you when you die.
Nope.
It's not going to go with you when you die. It's really important that we understand that we are definitely much more than our belongings. We are not the sum of the things we own.
Not at all.
We're just not. We're not the sum of the things we own. And as you all go into this week, friend, do you want to give them a tip for the week?
I wasn't ready. I thought you had one.
Nope.
Let's see. What's going to be my tip of the week? I don't have one.
Oh, all right, y'all. Listen, be blessed. I'm just kidding. But no, all right. So let's send you all off encouraged. But in all sincerity, this week we are giving you a challenge. The Melanin Mindset wants to pose a challenge to you. Okay, so I challenge you to think of that one friend that you haven't spoken with, or maybe that friend that always has your back. Call them, check in on them. Your strong friend may very well just be putting up a good front. So make sure that you don't allow these divides whether it be you feel like you have a shortcoming by comparison, or if you feel like they are a little bit beneath you these days, any of
Mm-hmm.
that, no, reach out to that friend because you never know what someone could be going through. We want to challenge you all to show some love this week. And if you do, and you have a photo or a social media aspect of it, tag the Melanin Mindset, y'all.
So
Go on
you
and
came
tag
up
the
with all of
Melanin
that, but
Mindset.
then you asked me if I had a tip of the week, and you had all of that in you. I'm done. I'm not checking on you no more. You had all of that beautiful tip, and she gonna ask me to leave a tip, and she had all of that. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Anyway, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube, The Melanin Mindset, and remember to turn on those notification bells for us so that you're amongst the first to know when we do go live. Check us out on Benance's internet, y'all.
The melanin
www.themelaninmindset.org.
mindset.
All right, check us out for real, cause y'all, it is summertime and we are definitely prepared for you because we've got tank tops up on our website. We've got tank tops. So if you out here getting your hot girl summer on, go ahead and order your Melanin Mindset MF for tank, and that way you will be able to be out in these streets representing the melanin mindset with all your melanin glistening and glowing. Okay, so thank you all once again for your support. Friend, you got anything to say?
Bye, y'all.
Oh, yeah, bye y'all. So,
See y'all on the flip side.
right, y'all listen though. Look, we got these pins now, and when you order your melanin mindset stuff, you will get a melanin mindset pin. All right, in your order, you will receive a melanin mindset pin. Yes, just for you for free for being amazing and placing an order with the melanin mindset. Y'all, thank you so much once again for tuning in. Have a great rest of the evening, y'all. We out of here.